Um, I hope everybody had a blessed weekend and a safe weekend. Hope everybody's still healthy. Let's talk about women and men's feelings. Whose are more important? What does Eric mean by that? Okay, so when a woman starts liking a man and, yeah, you know, um, I want to say maybe over liking him sometimes, um, some things can start occurring. Um, I, I've experienced things in my past. I've had friends that have told me like really crazy stories about women popping up over their home, knocking on their windows, all different sorts of things. And these are women that aren't even in relationships with these guys. So, is it more important on how a woman feels when they're really liking a man, or is it uh, less important? Hey, how you doing? You Okay, you have my name up. Who? Let's see. Hey, good afternoon. Let's see. So yeah, I'm just wondering, why is it that everybody seems to think that it's okay for a woman to be able to do like crazy stuff, and a man, when a man does things like that, it's definitely considered stalking or things like that. So that's my topic for this afternoon. If somebody's at home or not doing anything, I don't know, maybe you can touch in on that. I mean, it's okay to like people, but when it gets to the point where in just a couple of days or a week, you're basically acting like you've been in a relationship with this person for a long time, then something's wrong. That's why we all need to check our emotions and check how we deal with different people when we are in relationships, or excuse me, trying to start a new relationship. So it just I don't know. It puzzles me, but sometimes I think we give women a pass when women do crazy things. Uh, Coming over your house without calling, knocking on your window, as I was saying. People have told me different stories. I mean, what's who I thought that both parties were important. I thought that when people do things that nobody's told them it was okay to do, that there's a problem, whether it's a man or a woman. If it was me or going over somebody's house without calling, and I wasn't told that it was okay to do that, then why would I be doing that? Just because I like them a lot? Okay, okay, I get it. But when a woman does that, I think men are so used to these types of things happening, we tend to excuse a lot of things that happen when women do them. And Yeah, I try to figure that out. I mean, I remember when I was younger, in my 20s, you know, a girl vandalized my vehicle, and I just excused it. I didn't retaliate. Hey, story time. Hello, how are you? And good afternoon. Yeah, I didn't retaliate. I didn't put my hands on her. I just pretty much excused it because it was, that's what I thought that women do when they get upset with you. Hey, Christina. So yeah, I mean, I wish that I wish that everybody's feelings would be right in the middle. And if somebody likes you, they don't have to over like you. Just like you, show you attention, which is cool. But when it becomes obsessive, then that's when it's a problem. And I don't think men should do that to women, and women shouldn't do it to men. But again, I think uh, I've excused a lot of activities that shouldn't have been welcomed a long time ago in my life. I've excused a lot of them. So uh, I don't know. I just wish that everybody would just know how to act when they meet somebody that's cool. Don't go crazy about it. Don't lose your mind. Don't smother them, but also show them attention. Let them know you like them. See what type of person they are, and where their heads at with working on something. And if they're not into a relationship or something like that, you don't know. You can't force anybody to do anything. You can't pressure them. So um, sometimes we have to step back and just analyze the situation instead of getting upset with a man or a woman when we don't get our way. with them. You know, you can meet a nice person and in a couple of days kick it with them, and um, sometimes they may think that there's going to be something big happening because you're a cool person, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So um, you know, a lot of time we just have to, like I said, we just got to learn how to act when we meet new people, and when we can't do crazy stuff to people. We can't um, do things that would take you out of your character. Basically, is what I'm saying. Um, who wants anybody to take them out of their character just because they say they like somebody? Um, we can do other things to show somebody we like them. And if they don't like us like that, then we can't force that on them. So that's I don't know, just wondering why women get so many passes and men that do things that women do. A lot of times we get labeled everything. I've never. No, I'll take that back. I'll give you guys one story. One, because this is the only time I can check myself where I was wrong. Yet I was a lot younger, and my mind was just rattling off because I was so in love with this older lady. Okay, so here we go. Excuse me. It was wintertime, and mind you, I was staying with this lady. She was a little. I was probably 19, and she was probably about 25, and she had her own place, and she had a son, and I would stay there periodically. And I remember one night I just happened to be out and about with a friend of mine, and I was riding with him, and for some reason, and I was told that it was okay to come by her house. I didn't have a key. Hey, Yolanda Young, how are you? I was told that I could stop by without a key. I mean, I'm sorry, I could stop by without calling. I didn't have a key, so um, did that. I stopped by, and there was a car out in front. Light was well, the TV was on at that particular time. I remember I looked up at the apartment, and mind you, it was wintertime. And this is just so funny to me now because I've matured so much and grew up and not let my feelings get the best of me. But my mom told me about that messing with an older lady when I was younger, and that you never know. So anyway, I banged on the door. Well, no, let's go back. I put my ear to the door and I heard the TV, and I could have swore I heard somebody talking, somebody sound like people talking, and I think I heard a shh, be quiet. So I said, okay, okay, she's in here, she's got company, and this was my girlfriend. At least that's what I thought. So went back outside, and I was so upset and hurt. I think the only time in my life I've really been hurt, and I bought up a snowball and I packed it as tight as I could. And you know what I did, everybody. I took the snowball and I pitched it to her upstairs window, and she had a little window on the side. I hit that window, shattered it, and I got in the car with my friend, told him to pull off. That's what I did, and I was upset, and I was in love, and that's just an example of the feelings thing. When your feelings are just letting it go too far. So after that, of course, I learned, I matured, never done anything like that again. Haven't let my feelings get the best of me. Um, and that just goes to show, like I said, just making an example of what women normally do, not trying to generalize, but normally do to men when they're upset or hurt. So, I've been through a few things in my life with the vandalism of cars and stuff like that. But again, I've excused it. Uh, but I don't think you should make an excuse. I don't think that's fair. And again, that's what I'm talking about this afternoon. I don't think that a woman should be excused for doing crazy things because she's emotionally distraught. I get it. You don't know how to lash out. You don't know any other way to get that man back. But you have to think before you do, because if a man did it, he'd be in jail or considered a crazy person or a stalker or something like that. So we all have to think before we do and check ourselves. We just have to do that. So yeah, that's just a little story I thought I'd shoot you guys and gals, and uh, give you something amusing to laugh about. I always laugh about it when I think about it because I was so in love at 19 years old with older woman, and I thought it was going somewhere, and it didn't go anywhere. But learned a lot of lessons, and just learned some things my mom told me. What's going on, George? Salute, salute, my brother. Just talking about women and men's feelings. Whose is more important? Is it okay when women do things that take them out of character? Is it okay when men do things that take them out of character? I don't agree with either one. I just don't. I don't feel that you should do that. I had friends that would vandalize their baby's father's cars and homes. I would ask them what they got out of it. Well, story time, I think they just get some sort of satisfaction because they're so hurt that they know that they can't physically put their hands or hurt that person. So they figure that person loves their material items. So if they damage their material item, then that would justify the feelings that they're going, the hurt that they're going through, and that would hurt that person. Luckily, I'm not in love with cars or material things. Now, I like cars, and I've had a lot of them, nice cars, but that's not something that woos me. Now, if it would have been an antique car of mine that I've had in the past, probably would have put my hands on you. I'm just gonna be honest. I probably would have took a battery and saw what happened. But fortunately, it wasn't a antique car or anything like that. So back in those days, I didn't put my hands on a woman or anything like that. I just let it be. I got through it, you know. And you're right, story time, there's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse. Everybody should keep their hands to themselves, keep their um, bad vibes to themselves. Don't come over people's house without calling. Don't knock on their windows. Don't vandalize their vehicles. If you can't talk it out with them, I don't know what to tell you. Let it go. Learn how to let it go. You have to let it go. Sometimes you'll never get closure. You'll never get closure. And you just have to let it go. Period. I wasn't, to this day, I'm still not looking for any closure. I know what happened. I was young, she was younger, and it is what it is. It's over with. I'm not holding on to that. It was just a funny story because I was wrong. I don't care if she had company or not. She didn't owe me anything. That was her apartment and that was her place. She could do what she wanted to do. Period. And that's how I look at it. Now, I can do what I want to do. It's my home. You can do what you want to do. That's your home. And everybody should be respectful of one another. And that's it. And that's just it. Um, I haven't had any recent experiences, but I know some friends that have. So it just freaks me out when uh, everybody can't stay in their place. And that's what you need to do. Stay in your place. Just stay in your place. If nobody's lying to you or promised you anything, just because it's a good person or seems like a good person doesn't mean you can force something on them. Period. You can't do it. You know. Would you say, George, when people are young, it's about reaction before thinking? As we get older and learn, we learn to think before acting out of anger. Because I've definitely excuse me, I have an anger problem. I've had an anger problem in the past. I get angry, but I've learned how to curb that, and now I definitely think before I do, or I'd be in jail somewhere. And we have to think before we do. Absolutely, absolutely. So I don't worry about those things anymore. I know how to vent the right way now, and it definitely wouldn't be throwing a snowball at somebody's window. That would never happen again. So I'm glad I've matured and learned a lot, and I'm sure all have. And yeah, we just have to start respecting people and respecting what they tell you. And when people lie, which is an unfortunate thing that you have to lie to do whatever, um, you got to get through it and realize that everybody's not going to be the same that you meet and that you encounter. People do lie, and unfortunately, we want certain things in life. So when somebody's talking good or it sounds good, you tend to lean over to that. And I think a lot of times with women is that you give yourself to a man thinking that you want to sleep with them too. We're going to something else just a little bit, but you want to sleep with them too. But also, and you're right, respect goes a long way, Tanya. You want to sleep with them too, but you're also wanting more than that, and your intentions are to have more than that. So you figure if you sleep with that man, that there's a big possibility that he could be your man at some point. So when you after that and you start feeling like you really like that man, then you can't pressure him to start being your man within 2 or 3 day period after you've slept with him. You wanted to sleep with him too, and no matter what. Women say, I just heard this the other day on somebody else's Facebook. There's nobody that's going to tell a woman, "Hey, I don't want any. I just want to have sex. I don't want anything." You need to be honest with a woman. I think the farthest as you should go as a man is to say, "I'm not looking for anything serious." I think a woman should be able to understand that. You shouldn't tell a woman. I don't think any man can tell a woman, "Hey, I just want to have sex," and they're going to say, "Sure, let's do that." That's just not going to happen. Everybody wants to hear something good. Everybody wants to hear something that sounds like it could be possibly something they want. But I agree on men being honest, definitely, so that a woman won't get their feelings involved in it. But no matter how honest you are, it's going to happen anyway. A woman is still going to get feelings if they're not a whore. Excuse my French. They're going to get feelings for you. So you can be as honest as possible. I mean, as honest as honest. I don't want a relationship. I'm not looking for anything. And then you all still sleep together, which it takes two people. Then after the fact, if you're not willing to be their boyfriend or husband or man, then there's a problem. You were a liar, you're a cheat, you shouldn't have did this. Then that's when they start acting crazy on you. So um, we all need to learn how to act, learn how to control our feelings, stop using sex for a weapon, stop telling men that you're celibate and you want a husband. You can be celibate. I think that's a state of mind. You don't have to go around sleeping with everybody, but we're all human. Humans, that's a human nature thing. You're not going to get a husband telling a man that you're celibate and that's what you're looking for. You can get a husband by praying on it and just letting something happen. That's it. That's it. No more snowballs. Absolutely. Story time. You're right. LOL. And my son said, don't say LOL anymore because that's old people say that. That's what he told me yesterday. I guess I'm old. I still say LOL. But you're right. No more snowballs. Yeah. But sex has a big deal to do with everything. And as soon as you do that, it changes everything. Even though it may be good on both parts, you have to know how to handle it mentally. And if you can't handle it mentally, then uh, I guess you don't need to do it, even though we just have those urges and desires. It just seems to lean one way sometimes. Either the woman will start liking a man a little too much after that, or a man starts liking a woman too much after that. And we know who gets labeled the man. If a man starts liking a woman too much, he's a stalker. He's sweating me, girl. He's thirsty. If a woman starts liking a man too much, it is what it is. We just have to accept it. You know, if they do something silly, we just have to accept it. They drove by your house or knocked on your apartment door or asked you, did you have company? And, you know, yeah. So these are the things that sometimes we have to deal with when it becomes men's feelings and women's feelings. So that was our topic for today. Um, just a quick one. I just wanted to get some stuff out. Some people told me to bring that up, and I said, okay, sure, why not? I think the next topic is going to be not polygamy, but I think a poly marriage or something like that, where there's a man and two women. I've known some people that are talking about that. I don't know a whole lot about it, but um, it seems to be working for some people. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll tune into that later or another time, and we'll talk about that. So again, everybody, I appreciate you for listening to me and coming to my chat. Thanks for everything. You know, make sure you subscribe to like. God, I'm acting nervous. Like, share, and subscribe to Lifestyles with Eric, and I'll be back with another good topic. And we'll talk some more soon. Love you all, and thanks for coming in my live. And you're my family now, so let's just learn with each other and do as much positive activities as possible. So uh, much love to everybody. All right. Take care. All right. Bye bye.